The first ray of morning sunlight slipped through the cracked window of the old house as Renate opened her eyes. On the wardrobe door hung a beautiful dress, soft pink silk, the one she had chosen to wear to her son's wedding. For 3 days she had been living in that dream, her heart quietly dancing with the joy of her only son, Max, finally getting married. Renate reached for the phone on the wooden table. She thought, let me call Max, see how the preparations are going. The line rang twice before someone picked up. It was Lena, her son's fiancée. Hello, Mom. Renate smiled softly.
Hi, dear.
I just wanted to ask, when is the wedding? I've already picked my dress. There was a pause, a long, strange silence. Then Lena spoke, her tone cool and almost casual. Oh, our wedding? It was yesterday. We just invited special people. Those words hit Renate like a bucket of ice water. Special people. For a moment, she couldn't move. She stood there, holding her phone as if it suddenly weighed 1,000 pounds. Her eyes fell on the picture of Max on the wall, a little boy smiling in his school uniform. She whispered under her breath, special people. This, from the same son for whom she had paid $500 in rent every month for 3 years. The same son whose house she had furnished, whose refrigerator she had filled, whose life she had quietly supported. And now, she wasn't special enough to attend his wedding? Renate's knees trembled. She sat down on the couch, the one she had bought, while Lena lounged comfortably on it in her pink dress, the same dress Renate had paid for. That moment cut like a knife. She had spent $200 on that dress, imagining how beautiful she'd look at the wedding, how proud her son would be seeing her there. She'd even bought new shoes and a purse, dreaming of being part of the most important day in her son's life. But there would be no photos, no celebration, just 4 cold words, only special people. Max's voice finally came through the phone. Mom, it was just a small, intimate ceremony. Only us and the witnesses. Renate's lips curved into a faint smile. I see, sweetheart, she said quietly. But she knew it was a lie. Later that night, she opened social media. And there they were, pictures. Lena, radiant in a white wedding gown. Her parents standing proudly beside the couple. Max smiling, champagne in hand. Lena's siblings giving toasts, laughter filling the room. Everything, everyone except her. A week passed. 7 long, silent days. Then the phone rang again. Hi, Mom. Lena's voice trembled now. Gone was the confident woman who had shut her out. The rent is overdue. The landlord is threatening to evict us if we don't pay this week. You forgot to make the transfer. Renate took a deep breath. Oh, did I? She said calmly. A pause. Then softly she added, Lena, didn't I tell you? I only help special people. The silence on the other end was so deep she could hear her own heartbeat. Then came a shaky reply. But, Mom, you've always been special to us. Your family. You're like a second mother to me. Renate hung up the phone. That night, she sat on her bed and cried, not from sorrow, but from years of pent-up anger and disappointment. She cried for all the times she had run to the bank to make sure they had a roof over their heads. For all the times she'd eaten beans and rice so they could afford something better. For all the times she had swallowed her pain, waiting for a little piece of love in return. But now something had changed. She pulled out a notebook and a pen. Slowly, she began to write. Rent, food, gifts, emergencies, all the money she had spent on them over the last 3 years. When she finished, the number at the bottom of the page made her hands tremble. $20,000. $20,000 from her retirement, from her savings, from the money her late husband had left her, so she could live her final years in peace. And what had she received in return? Silence. Exclusion. To be treated like a stranger on her own son's wedding day. That night, something inside Renate didn't break. It woke up. The next morning, she stood before the mirror. The same tired eyes stared back, the same wrinkles telling stories of love given without return. But there was something new in her gaze, strength, clarity, and peace. She called her bank. She canceled every automatic transfer, rent, groceries, utilities, everything. From now on, she decided, no one would get her help unless they truly saw her, unless they truly loved her. Later that day, Max called. Mom, Lena said you're upset? I'm not upset, Max, she replied quietly. I'm just done. He hesitated. We just need a little help. Financially. I know, she interrupted gently. But I've decided I'll only help those who consider me part of their lives. You know, special people. The line went silent. She could hear Max breathing, stunned, perhaps even ashamed. Renata ended the call and smiled. A calm, satisfied smile. For the first time in years, her heart felt light. That evening, she sat in her garden. The air was cool, filled with the scent of flowers. She held a cup of tea and watched the sky slowly turn orange. Maybe happiness, she thought, isn't in being needed. Maybe it's in knowing your own worth and refusing to let anyone treat you as invisible. As the sun sank beyond the trees, a strange peace settled inside her. The day was ending, but for Renata, something new had begun. She was no longer the forgotten mother, the silent provider, or the woman taken for granted. She was her own person now, and finally, she was special,